This is my first video in a really long time. I think I finally have the major inhabitants settled into this tank with, I think, all the plants that are probably going to be planted in here. From here on, it'll be the plants propagating themselves that'll provide the rest of the planting. This tank is about 10 months since it's been set up. It's finally achieving a stability that it's very reliable. Water changes about once every 2 weeks. I don't believe in the every week thing. I will, and my best indicator to the health of my tank and the health of my fish, the fish themselves. If you're paying attention to your fish, they will let you know how they feel. Anyway, uh, I've managed to figure out several different ways to feed them so they can come all to the front of the tank and I can see everybody. So right now we have 9 black neons, 8 green flame tetras, Pistogramma reticulosa female, and 2 otocinclus catfish, and there's still 2 panda cories left in this tank from the very original fish that went in this tank. That's the only 2 fish from the original batch of fish that I put in this tank to inhabit it at first. And I hate to tell you, I've lost a lot of fish getting to this point, but it, you know, things have changed since I had been an aquarist before. Anyway, theories, everything else, let alone the actual science. But I remember using under gravel filters, for goodness sakes. What a crazy, little cul-de-sac that was for an aquarist, getting caught up in the undergravel filter thing, especially, as saltwater aquariums are beginning to be able to be sustained. That was one of the things that was, at the bottom of that happening, is not only did you have, the back, hang on the back filtration, but it was, practically imperative that you had water circulating through your gravel bed to avoid the anaerobic pockets that would occur all too often. So anyway, what I wanted you to notice about my green flames, if you have noticed in the back here, there's 2 males in this batch, and there's 1 very gravid female, and the 2 males are trying to pair up with a gravid female across the back of the tank. And I'm hoping I'm catching enough of these 2 males trying to engage with this female and kind of sparring with each other at the same time. But you'll notice that there's been a color change in the males that I had not anticipated, but I thought they were fading out. And that was the male that was actually the more submissive. And that's not true. It's what they're actually doing is they're going through a color change where the green and red kind of fade out in favor of a more brassy color that's very bright. It's a color that comes over the males. And the other thing is the finnage is that the dorsal and the anal fin will both get black at the base of the fin with white on the tips, and also the ventral fins turn white. So when they're trying to mate, so I don't see this all the time, but these 2 males have been showing up more and more, and I thought that it was a submissive male, but I don't think that's necessarily true. I believe that may be, both of them are showing dominance when they're they're becoming more of a unified color, except for that finnage becoming so much different. The only fins that stay completely translucent, like the female's fins, is the caudal fin and the adipose fin. So it's an interesting thing that's going on. Interesting. Anyway, like I said, latest, we've got Vallisneria growing in the back, getting established and getting towards the top of the tank. And the same backdrop that I had before, but a little bit different on the lighting above. So you can see some light coming down from the back. We have Sagittaria subulata, also known as dwarf Sagittaria. In the front here, I'm trying to keep my cories from messing with the Java moss, but no matter what, they keep scattering it and scattering it and scattering it, and I can't get it established. Cories are not compatible with getting your Java moss started. They just are in the mix too much. Anyway, just a side note there. Anyway, there is a little bit of Java moss there, but it's mostly that and the two dwarf swords, and then there's a large Echinodorus species. I'm not sure which one, but it's what you would, it's a very normal looking Amazon sword. It's a larger plant than the two dwarfs, obviously, but it's nothing fancy that's going to turn red or anything like that. I am trying to formulate, though, a new plant tab that hopefully will help bring out more of the red in plants that do have that reddish tinge, pick up that reddish color. So I'm busy working on that at the moment, but using a hydroponic base and adding a couple of my own ingredients into it besides. So, and one of them is, I'll give this one away, is iron filings. There's going to be iron filings in it, and that's because I'm going to use a tool to insert my plant tabs that'll have a magnet on it. But the other thing is, I think that the iron filings, they're so fine, even though I ordered coarse, it's like a powder. These iron filings are going to break down very quickly underwater, and to provide some iron oxide and whatnot in the water, and help provide some of that red color for these plants to take up. So, in one tank I've got way so much light that, in fact, that the Vallisneria is only growing to be maybe 6 inches tall at the most, maybe 8 inches. And the leaves are very brown in the center, or the blades, I would say. You can call them blades, I suppose would be a better thing to say. But they're brown in the center and a lighter green. But I put them in this tank, and under this lower light that's along the back of this tank, they're continuing to grow and turning a darker green and getting taller again. So very interesting, the lighting conditions, how much it will change what these plants will do. So Vallisneria is a very versatile plant. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed my little video here. It's an impromptu script here. I do nothing but speak off the cuff. So hopefully I haven't said anything untoward. If I have ever said anything untoward, please leave me a message and let me know. But I am used to public speaking enough that I think I keep my language pretty clean most of the time. Maybe not so much in an individual conversation, but my language tends to get a little more colorful the smaller the audience, so nonetheless. Anyway, hope you enjoyed my little new video, and This is my first update in like at least 6 months. So this is going to look quite different from my last video. I do have some snapshots, at least one, that I've uploaded to my Instagram account as well as to, I guess, just to my Instagram. There's no link to it on my YouTube account that I'm aware of. So, anyway, have a good one.